As West Michigan students get ready to head back to school, many parents and teachers are concerned about mental health and making sure kids are supported. I talked to Dr. Nick Allen, a professor of clinical psychology at the University of Oregon, about what to look out for and how to help.
Well, thank you so much for being here. Great to see you.
Thank you.
I feel like especially as we're heading back into school, we really need to be aware of what's going on with our teens, our young people.
Well, the transition back into school is always a difficult time for young people, always has been. But I think that there are some particular challenges at the moment. Obviously, the experience that young people have had during the pandemic, many of them have had a time when they've been out of school. And although most kids have been back in school for a while now, I think there's still an adjustment that's occurring that's a little bit more pronounced for young people than it was in the past. So, and I think another thing that's really important to be mindful of is that different young people will experience this transition back into school in different ways. You know, there are some kids who are very outgoing and who really like being at school and being around their peers. And there's also some kids who probably enjoyed the experience of being at home more and having that sort of instruction from school as well. So really understanding that the different young people will experience this transition in a different way is an important thing to remember.
All this while teens, young people are going through a lot. Anxiety is really high, depression, even self-harm and suicide. Those numbers are really up.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. This trend was already occurring before the pandemic. But during the pandemic, you know, we do think that it's been exacerbated for many young people. And it's interesting, there are, you know, the particular kinds of problems that young people are experiencing are the ones you mentioned. They're problems with anxiety, depression, suicide and self-harm. All of those have shown evidence of increases over the last decade or two. Whereas it's interesting that some of the other problems of youth, for example, problems with substance use, there's some evidence that they are in fact going down a bit.
These are the conversations that we should be having with them about life in general. And it is okay to ask about self-harm and to talk with your teens about suicide. It's important.
Absolutely. I think sometimes parents and other adults who are in young people's lives feel a bit worried that if they talk about these things that it might make them more likely. But in fact, we find that the opposite is true. The more open you are, the more you open up a channel of communication about these difficult issues, the more likely it is that the young person in your life will actually come to you to talk and about these issues when they are experiencing them. So one of the things that's very important is that young people will make a choice about when they want to talk to you about things. So the important thing is to build that kind of relationship that when they are having concerns or worries, that you're the person that they feel comfortable talking to and that they feel that they can go to.
Yeah. All right. Well, great advice. Really appreciate that. I know a lot of parents also anxious as we head back into the school year.
Thank you.